Ever wondered why your toaster isn't powered by a nuclear reactor? Now that might sound like a peculiar question, but it's a humorous way to introduce you to a philosophical principle known as Occam's razor. In essence, Occam's razor suggests that when we're faced with competing hypotheses, the simplest explanation is usually the best one. So why isn't your toaster nuclear powered? Because plugging it into the wall is just simpler, and it does the job perfectly well. This principle of simplicity was championed by a 14th century logician and Franciscan friar, William of Ockham. He was a man who appreciated the beauty of simplicity, and his philosophical razor has been cutting through complex theories and explanations for over 7 centuries. So the next time you pop a slice of bread into your toaster, remember William of Ockham and his love for simplicity. Well, that's Occam's razor in a nutshell, or should I say, in a toaster. Now, let's shave off the complexity and see how Occam's razor applies in our daily lives. Occam's razor, the principle that suggests the simplest explanation is usually the correct one, is not just limited to the realm of philosophy or scientific theories. It's a practical tool that we can all use in our day-to-day lives. It's like a mental Swiss Army knife, helping us cut through the noise and make sense of the world around us. Consider the world of science. It's a field where Occam's razor is used extensively. When faced with multiple hypotheses, scientists often lean towards the simpler one. Why? Because it's usually the one that requires the least assumptions and is therefore more likely to be correct. This isn't a foolproof rule, of course, but it's a useful guideline that helps scientists avoid unnecessary complexity. But Occam's razor isn't only useful for scientists in lab coats. It's also a handy tool for debunking conspiracy theories. When the story gets too convoluted with a plot that rivals a Hollywood blockbuster, Occam's razor can help us remember that the simpler explanation is often the more plausible one. Aliens didn't steal your car keys, you probably just misplaced them. And what about everyday decision-making? We've all been there, standing in the kitchen debating whether to order pizza or cook at home. The decision can seem complex with many factors to consider. But Occam's razor can help simplify things. It might just be easier to order that pizza, especially if the alternative involves a 3-course meal from scratch. Here's a little joke to lighten the mood. Why did the philosopher order pizza? Because according to Occam's razor, it was the simplest solution. In the end, Occam's razor is all about embracing simplicity. It's about recognizing that the world is complex, yes, but that doesn't mean our explanations or decisions have to be. So, when in doubt, just remember, simplicity is the key. But wait, does this mean we should always choose the simplest option? Not quite. Occam's razor, as useful as it is in guiding our decision-making process, is not an infallible rule. It's more like that trusty old compass in your backpack. It points you in the right direction, but it can't account for mountains, valleys, or the occasional grizzly bear on your path. Let's delve into the limitations of Occam's razor by looking at a few examples. Picture this. You're at home, and suddenly the lights go out. The simplest explanation might be that the light bulb has blown. But what if the real reason is a citywide power outage, or perhaps squirrels having a party in your electrical box? In these instances, the simplest explanation doesn't hold up to the complexity of reality. And let's not forget the world of medical diagnostics. A patient with a headache could simply be dehydrated, or they could be dealing with something as serious as a brain tumor. Here, Occam's razor walks a fine line, and the simplest explanation can sometimes lead to a dangerous misdiagnosis. Now let's lighten the mood with a little humor. Imagine you're using your GPS to navigate to a destination. The simplest route is a straight line, right? But we all know that's not always the fastest or the most scenic route. Sometimes the road less traveled is the one with less traffic, fewer red lights, and a charming little cafe serving the best blueberry muffins this side of the Mississippi. The point is, while Occam's razor is a helpful tool in hypothesis testing and decision-making, it doesn't always lead us to the right answer. Life is complex, and sometimes the simplest explanation is not the most accurate one. So next time you find yourself reaching for Occam's razor, remember to use it wisely. It's like that spicy hot sauce in your pantry. A little goes a long way, but too much? Well, you get the idea. Occam's razor, a tool, not a rule. Remember that as we continue our journey into the fascinating world of philosophy, so how does one wield this philosophical razor without cutting oneself? Well, the art of applying Occam's razor is a delicate balance. It doesn't mean that the simplest explanation is always correct, but it does suggest that it's the best place to start. It's like a compass, guiding us towards the most likely explanation, helping us navigate the labyrinth of possibilities. It should be used in tandem with critical thinking and evidence-based reasoning. Occam's razor is not a standalone tool, but rather an essential part of a larger toolkit. It's like salt in a recipe, necessary but not sufficient on its own. Now, some might think that mastering Occam's razor could turn them into a master barber, but let's not get carried away. It's a philosophical razor, not a grooming tool, no matter how closely it shaves off unnecessary complications. And remember, Occam's razor isn't your typical shaving razor, so don't expect a smoother shave in the morning, but do anticipate a clearer perspective when contemplating complex theories. As we wrap up our journey with Occam's razor, let's revisit the nuggets of wisdom we've uncovered. We've learned that this principle, a close shave with simplicity, guides us to favor the simplest explanation when faced with competing hypotheses. We've seen how it subtly weaves itself into our daily lives, helping us navigate through complex decisions and dilemmas, yet we've also acknowledged its limitations, understanding that simplicity doesn't always equate to truth. And finally, we've explored the art of applying Occam's razor, honing our ability to discern and evaluate with keen insight. As we delve deeper into the realms of thought and explore the vast landscapes of philosophy, remember that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey without a final destination. Thank you for joining me on this philosophical journey. Subscribe to @ChasingSunsets49, and let's embark on more intellectual voyages together. Until next time, stay curious and keep chasing those sunsets of enlightenment. Take care.